For decades, we've been taught that the future of energy is all about more power, right? Higher temperatures, stronger forces. But what if the next great leap in technology isn't about more force at all? What if it's all about finding a better shape?
And that's really the core idea we're digging into today. The claim is simple, but honestly, it's pretty profound. The solution to our biggest energy challenges, it isn't found in building stronger walls. It's in understanding a fundamental geometric truth about the entire universe. So, what is the secret shape? It sounds kind of like magic, but it's not. It's actually a fundamental pattern that the universe uses absolutely everywhere. We're talking from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy. It's how nature creates stable, long-lasting energy systems. It's a blueprint that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. I mean, think about it. From the magnetic field of a tiny atom to the massive swirling arms of a galaxy, you see this same pattern again and again. Our own planet Earth uses it to generate the magnetic shield that protects us from solar wind. Stars use it to contain their own fusion reactions for, billions of years. It is literally the universe's default setting for stability.
Okay, so this shape has a name. It's called a torus. And probably the easiest way to picture it is just a perfect smoke ring. See how it's a self-closing loop? That means the energy inside can flow continuously, cycling back on itself forever without ever hitting a wall. It is the perfect shape for uninterrupted flow.
And here's what's so mind-bending about this. The torus isn't a container that we have to force energy into. It's the shape that energy naturally forms all by itself when you just let it find a state of balance. It's the path of least resistance. It's the shape of maximum stability. We didn't invent it. We've just been, well, completely ignoring it.
So if nature loves curves so much, what have we been doing all this time? Well, for the most part, we've been building our world with straight lines and boxes. And that decision, that choice to fight against nature's preferred geometry, oh, it comes at a huge cost.
You can really see the two different mindsets here. On one hand, you have nature's way, which is all about balance and flow. Think of a whirlpool in a river. It keeps its shape through its own motion. Physicists call that a low entropy system, meaning it has low disorder. Our way? It's been all about containment and brute force, building these incredibly strong boxes to contain immense pressure. This creates high entropy systems, systems with high disorder that are always trying to tear themselves apart. They need a ton of energy just to hold them together.
This quote from the source material just nails it. Think about our current nuclear reactors. They are, at their core, just super strong boxes. They're designed to fight a constant battle against the insane pressures of the energy inside. It's an architecture that is literally at war with its own contents. And that battle, it is incredibly wasteful. Get this. A modern fusion reactor can burn through over 100 megawatts of power, not to create electricity for the grid, but just to power the giant magnets needed to hold a few grams of plasma stable for a few seconds. That is the staggering price we pay for fighting geometry.
And this table really breaks it down. Our current reactors are basically like trying to squeeze a water balloon with your hands. The harder you press in with your magnets, the more the plasma inside wants to squirt out somewhere else. It's this constant, expensive fight. But in a toroidal design, the curved shape itself helps to balance that pressure. The flow creates its own containment field. The whole system becomes stable on its own with way, way less effort. And this is where we get to the real aha moment. If we stop fighting and we start designing with this natural geometry, we shift from a state of conflict to a state of harmony. And in that harmony, the biggest, most expensive problems of energy containment, well, they just kind of disappear.
Okay, so how does this actually work? Let's walk through it. First, the energy isn't just trapped, it actually orbits itself, following that natural curved path of the torus. Second, that constant rotation naturally balances out the pressure pushing outwards, kind of like how a spinning top stays perfectly upright. Third, and this is the amazing part, the geometry itself acts like a self-correcting system. Any little wobble or disturbance just gets smoothed out by the overall flow. And finally, that means the system breathes. It recirculates its own energy coherently instead of leaking it out chaotically all over the place.
And that brings us right back to this idea of a low entropy design. It's a system that holds itself together through its own shape and its own motion. It doesn't need a constant, massive fire hose of energy just to keep from falling apart. The order comes from within the system itself.
I love this analogy from the source material. It's perfect. We have to stop thinking of a reactor as a furnace that's containing some chaotic fire. Instead, it becomes more like a musical instrument. We're not fighting the plasma anymore. We're tuning it. We're helping it find its natural harmonic resonance, a state where all the turbulence and instability just cancel each other out. And what you get is a system that's silent, glowing, and just effortlessly stable.
So, what does this all mean for the future? Well, if we actually start engineering with this principle of flow instead of against it, the possibilities, they're really almost beyond imagination.
Seriously, this isn't just about building slightly better power plants. When you embrace this geometry, it triggers a fundamental shift in what we even think is possible. Let's take a quick look at what a future built on flow could look like. First, energy generation itself is completely transformed. Imagine power plants that aren't these roaring, high-pressure industrial monsters. Instead, they could be these silent, glowing centers in our cities, just these elegant, humming vortices of clean, abundant energy, where all the stability comes from their beautiful shape, not brute force.
Then think about transportation. Instead of rockets that work by, violently throwing mass out the back, imagine a ship that generates a powerful toroidal field around itself. It would move by pushing against the geometry of its own field. It'd be a silent, incredibly efficient propulsion system that could cross the solar system with no fuel at all.
And finally, taking it to the grandest scale, this kind of thinking could let us engineer on a planetary level. We all know Mars lost its atmosphere because its magnetic field died. Well, what if we created a network of satellites that generate a huge, stable, toroidal magnetic field around the planet? We can literally give Mars its protective shield back, allowing it to hold an atmosphere, and maybe, just maybe, life, once again. And this all leads to a really profound shift in how we think. For the last century, we've treated stability as this really difficult achievement, something we have to fight for and engineer. But what if we've had it totally backward this whole time? When we finally align our technology with the universe's own geometry, stability is no longer the goal we're fighting for, it just becomes the default state. So in the end, it leaves us with a fundamental choice. Do we keep going down this path of brute force, trying to contain and control energy? Or are we finally ready to embrace a new philosophy of coherence, a partnership with the fundamental patterns that have been shaping the cosmos all along? The geometry of the future is here. It's waiting for us.